I think this should work. God damn it! It's like my interest can never be like perfect. God, take one. So I wasn't kidding when last week I said that I got punched in the face. I haven't been able to breathe a whole week. Oh shit, okay. Gee. Thank you guys so much for following me so far and consuming my content. I feel so blessed because I have done more than 5 videos so far. And I didn't think I was gonna do it, but I did it, so it feels really good. So thank you guys again. Today I want to talk about flow. So in MMA, we often go by what Bruce Lee philosophy says, and is that when you're in a flow state of mind, then you can adapt. So there's this quote that he says, empty your mind, be formless and shapeless like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes a cup. If you put water into a bottle, it becomes a bottle. If you put water into a teapot, it becomes a teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. So that quote is pretty famous. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about it, but what it means to me is that once my mind is in a peaceful state of mind and I feel stress-free, not completely, because obviously there's going to be always stress everywhere, but when I feel peaceful and I feel like my mind is at the present moment, that's where I feel the flow. And so when I'm training, and if I am in a flow state of mind, then I have a very good training session. It's never a bad training session, don't get me wrong. Like there's days that yes, I don't feel like training, or I don't even feel like doing any of that, but once I'm in there and I'm able to move my body and I'm able to train, then I always learn something and it's never wasted energy. But when it comes to the flow of it, I make sure that I always warm up my mind and my body. But in order for us to feel that flow, we kind of have to put ourselves in that situation. And so that's just in MMA. But when it comes to about real life, it's like whenever you're about to do an exam and then you know that you're super stressed out. But for example, like with the exam part, you know, like it's gonna be like a super hard exam. So you consciously have to make yourself relaxed, because if you know that you're gonna take an exam super stressed out, you're probably gonna forget everything. It's kind of like when people crumble up like all the material before the day of the exam because they want to get all the answers right and they don't want to fail. And it has happened to me. Like I have procrastinated and then the next day I'm like super stressed out in the morning. It's like you're talking to your classmate like, girl, I'm so stressed out. It's just like, why? She's like, cause I didn't study. She's like, okay, so what did you do? I went over that 10 freaking chapters. Is it even worth it? No. And you know, some people get lucky because some people can just remember everything and then just put it all in the freaking exam. But whenever I am in flow, it's like I make sure that I study. Like I study in chunks. I make sure that I have my own routine, so by the time that I get to the test, I'm really relaxed and I feel good, and then that's when I do better. It's the same thing with MMA. Like you have to be in a flow state of mind for you to feel like it was a good session. So, and don't get me wrong, like sometimes people, like actually a lot of people, you know, they train mixed martial arts because they want to release some stress, because they want to gain their confidence, or because they just want to feel good, right, physically and mentally. Because in other words, like MMA, once you do it, you feel that form of accomplishment. And it's just not in MMA, it could be in like working out, or it could be writing. Like if you're a journalist or you're a person that likes to write about your story or just about anything, comics, anything. And so you know that you feel that flow once you're in it. And so sometimes life can hit us, and you guys know that life is hard as hell. Like, life is not easy at all. Like, we can never say that life is easy, because it's not. I'm just throwing it out there. Remind you. But we know that life is not easy. So what we do is we find ourselves looking for things that will get us into the flow state of mind. That's why I use MMA, to get to that point of flow, so that I can feel peaceful, so I can feel stress-free, so I can feel good about myself. And I'm going to show you guys some of the training that looks physically is like a flow state. And that's what the drills that Taz and I do with the double leg, and then we switch to the sweep single, and then like we just go back and forth. And so you guys will see how, like, you start from one position, you move to the other one, to move to the other one, and move to the other one, and so on. And that's just flow, not non-stop, constant movement. And that's what we want to get to the point in life. Like, you want to feel like nothing is stopping you, nothing is like, you don't want to feel like you're stressed out. And you know, there's a lot of things in life that can get really stressful, and there's a lot of things that can get in the way of your goals, or they can get in the way of your peaceful state. But that's what we have to make, the conscious effort of getting our minds and getting ourselves into that mental state. Like, when you're at school and you need to get to that mental state, you kind of train your mind to get to that mental state with whatever. It could be just reviewing your notes before class, or when you're at the gym, you have to warm up, because you're warming up your body, you're warming up your mind, and you need to get to that mental state to train. The same thing with your job. You get to your job early on so you can go over the goal set for the day. Or like whenever you're about to go out with somebody, you need to know the place, the time, and you know who you're going with, right? So having a plan, that's what it is. But once you go with the plan, then there's that flow. Easy peasy, my friend. And then it's the same thing with just waking up every morning, being grateful, or whatever routine that you have in the morning to start your day. So that's how you start your flow state of mind. And I have practiced that in my MMA training and in my life. I wake up very early to start a class, online class, of course, because I'll be working with the quarantine. But to start my class, I review my notes, I go over the material. And then the same thing with MMA. Like, on my days off, I like to review some of my notes, and then sometimes I like to just go over the content for the gym, because I want to get into the flow state of mind. Because sometimes my body is like super stressed out, and then I have to ask myself, like, why is it that I feel so upset about something, or why do I feel stressed out, or like, what is going on in my head that is not allowing me to be in that flow state of mind. Just about anything that you do, if you feel that retraction, or you feel that friction, or you're having a conversation with someone and then your energy is weird, like you feel it in your gut, you feel it in your chest that something is off when you're having a conversation with someone, that just means that you're not in that flow state of mind. And you have to ask yourself why. Could be because you have something to say to that one person, or that you're not telling them, or it could be because you definitely don't feel that connection with that person, and that's okay. So then you have to ask yourself that question, so that the next time that you talk to that one person, you're able to talk to them better. Same thing with now and being in front of a camera. I was working on having that flow in talking, because sometimes I would get super nervous and then go off on a tangent. But no, in order for me to be in flow, I have to stay in the subject. Some of us, we're having conversations, we start yielding into another conversation, and then we end up talking about whatever subject that has nothing to do with the first topic that you talked about in the beginning of the conversation. It happens like that. And sometimes, I mean, when it comes to flow, like you feel it, you feel like stress free, like you feel like you can just talk about anything, you can do anything, and then whatever it is that you're doing and you're in flow, the day goes by so fast because you were so present in the moment and everything just flowed that you feel so good at the end. I love that feeling though. Like honestly, like do you love that feeling of feeling flow? One of the techniques the test has shown me is that I have to think about whatever makes me happy. And I have stopped myself in like after the rounds of sparring because I'm getting like super overwhelmed. So then I will stop and then I will close my eyes and then I think of something happy, something that makes me feel good. So then I close my eyes and I think about it and then I take a deep breath and then come back out and then I do it again. Oh. And like one thing to consider, if you know that you're not in that flow state of mind and you can't recognize when you're not in that flow state of mind, it's always good to have people that will call it out. Like Carla does a really good job at looking at my face and she's like, you have that face. And I'm like, what you talking about? She's like, that face. I'm like, what you talking about? And she's like, that face, that face right there. It's like, okay, you're right. Or like whenever like I'm sparring and then I have that face too. And then I get punched a lot and I give up. And then Tess is like, yeah, I'm gonna teach you a lesson today. So, you know what I mean? Like, you need people that are gonna call you out like, hey, you look like, you look constipated. You look constipated. So, we need that flow so we don't look constipated. You know, we just gotta feel good. Feel good. Feel really good so we can do really good and be happy. Thanks. You guys do me a favor and click on the subscribe button to get more content out of my MMA training and my mindset and how I apply MMA to real life. And then add me on Instagram. It's Naynay_MMA_CMM so you guys can see my squad, you guys can see my life, some of the content and my mindset that I create. So check it out. And for those that want to give some tips on how to stay in flow or how to be in flow, comment on the video. Because whoever reads this, whoever else is subscribing, whoever comes across this channel, it is great to share your experiences and it's great to know what gets you in that flow state of mind. So don't be selfish, share the content, share your tips. Nos vemos pronto, warriors.